As hopefully all of you know, I own a business here in Springfield, Malner's Restaurant, and I've owned that business since 1995 and worked at Malner's since 1982 when we moved to Springfield, my wife Nancy and me. And over the years, I've found that the community has helped build my success. Springfield has helped build my success. Springfield has provided me with a lot of friends because I'm not from the city, and Springfield has defined me in where I am in this city. Through the restaurant, I've involved myself in a lot of things. I'm involved with the MacArthur Boulevard Neighborhood Association. I also was on the am on the steering committee that developed the plan with the Lakota group for MacArthur Boulevard. I'm part of DSI, Downtown Springfield Inc., Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the Mayor's Bicycle Advisory Council. I'm part of help bring back and revitalize the farmers market downtown. I'm on one of their boards. I also am with Green Business Network and the local business community for buying local. And all these things have happened to me because I have through my restaurant and through my work. In Ward 7, I've seen Ward 7 when I first moved here. I moved into Ward 7, and I've seen Ward 7 go from MacArthur Boulevard, go from two nice shopping center or grocery stores to none. I've seen movie theaters move out of MacArthur Boulevard. I've seen the payday loans move in, and I've seen the telephone poles steadily collapse inward. So, and as you look down the boulevard, you have a very it hurts your eyes. And over the years, we've never had money to fix the MacArthur Boulevard. Even when times were good, now times are bad. And we've never had the money to fix it. So that's why I got involved in Ward 7. And the things that I've learned downtown, I want to bring to Ward 7. I was part of downtown in the 80s when there were probably more people sleeping in my doorway and soliciting my customers than I had customers. And I don't know if too many people remember those days in the early 80s of downtown, and people were afraid to come downtown. And through my work as a business person and my involvement in that community, in the downtown community, and revitalizing it as a recipient of TIF money, I've seen a change in downtown. When you drive downtown now, in the summertime, you see our property along 6th Street with other properties along Street. People outside enjoying themselves, eating and having a good time. Landscaped, which comes out of our pocket, not the city's pocket. And this energy I want to bring back to Ward 7. And that's why I'm running for Ward 7 alderman.
Great. Raised a family, 32 years of legal practice, 4 different state agencies, self-employed 20 years as a small businessman with fixed overhead. I'm running because of headlines like these. Nearly a third of city employees moved out of the city in the last 10 years. This is 2009. In some parts of the city, 1 in 5 lots abandoned or homes empty. This is 1 year ago, 2 pay spikes to the police chief by Mayor Davlin in his in the police chief's last 2 months of employment, permanently padding his pension. Giving spikes is a bad practice. Some of it's controlled by state law, but a lot of it's controlled by local bargaining agreements and municipal practice. Here's another one. $1.8 million to Horace Mann downtown, a highly profitable business. And this one here, symbolized, for me, the misfocus, or the growing misfocus of our city policies. I've worked downtown for 20 years as a self-employed businessman, paid rent for 20 years, started my law practice from scratch. It took 2 years before revenues exceeded expenses. And I've seen huge improvements to downtown. And over the last 20 plus years, $80 million of TIF money has been invested downtown. $80 million. That's both the local real estate taxes plus the growth on those monies when the investment yields were pretty good. So 80 million downtown, where about 2 or 3% of the population lives. When you go out to the neighborhoods, there's a growing resentment. And I was working the neighborhoods this past weekend, and when a mother says to you, I've got a visually impaired child and the sidewalks are unsafe, that hits you home. So here we got Horace Mann, a highly profitable business, getting $1.8 million for its sidewalks, but out in the neighborhoods, we've got sewers that back up, we've got sidewalks that are unrepaired, and there's a growing resentment. I think Springfield, at the macro level, has all the elements of a great community. At the macro level, we have tourism, we have retail, we have medical, we have a huge farm community, prosperous farm community. We have the center of state government. We have the center of county government. And all that is why we have the second lowest unemployment rate in the state. But what we're lacking is a renewed focus on neighborhoods and giving lots of Springfieldians reasons to stay living in Springfield. And so at the micro level, I see investing in our neighborhoods the best way to invigorate the economy. At the macro level, I think all the pieces are already in place. And to just highlight again how bad things have gone fiscally for the city of Springfield, I follow another community closely, Pekin, Illinois. Why? Because my son has the same job there that Dina Poole has. And the city of Pekin, with 1/4 the population of Springfield, currently has $13 million of reserves in their corporate account. So if Springfield had the equivalent of that, we would have almost $60 million of reserves in our corporate account. Another example, in the bottom of the recession, the Great Recession, Pekin created a incubator fund for local small business or any size business. They've got $2 million in their economic development fund, corporate fund, to make available in grants and loans to small businesses. $2 million in a city about 1/4 the size of Springfield. What do we have in Springfield for that purpose? If we had something equivalent, we'd have $8 million there for small business, for the main streets of our town, like Chatham Road, like MacArthur, which gets all the attention. But what we're seeing is our main streets, which are the entryways to our neighborhoods, are becoming neglected and symbolically eyesores. And that's why I was so upset when I see weeds this tall at MacArthur, at the Kmart facility at MacArthur. And I'm a hands-on type person. I'm wearing a fancy suit here, but I enlisted in the National Guard after law school, and I was a monkey wrench and a heavy vehicle driver. And I've worked in restaurants called mess halls where you do pots and pans for 20 hours straight. But I thought that was a disgrace that you've got weeds this tall. It's the largest, Kmart on MacArthur, it's the largest building on that stretch. And why didn't our current alderman, number one, either call the city to enforce the ordinances, or number two, use MBBA, MacArthur Business Association, to get something done? I made 4 phone calls to the corporate owners in New York, and they were very agreeable to make things happen, and things did happen. And I wish the 20 gallons of paint they provided was given to us earlier before the weather got bad, and we would have completed the project of painting over all the graffiti. But as far as local activity, and I've been a member of Downtown Springfield, Inc., and Mike, maybe you're on a different committee, but 10 years ago, working with the then director on the Image and Design Committee, and we'd have a member of the Public Works Department every month at our meetings, and we'd divide up downtown into 3 and 4 block areas, and we walk downtown and communicate with Public Works about what needs to be done. And I'm going to finish up here in just 1 or 2 minutes. And I was very active in Downtown Springfield, Inc. The last comment I'm going to make is the most significant grassroots organization right now, in my view, is ICON, Inner City Older Neighborhood Organization. And I'm proud to have worked with that group for almost a year, and I wrote their bylaws, drafted their bylaws so they could become a political action committee. So I'm sorry for talking for so long, but it's hard when you are passionate about things, it's hard to stop. So I'm glad to be here.
We listen to a lot of people complain, and they don't bring solutions. People complain about the TIF. They complain about budget. They complain about a lot of other things. I bring those solutions. I was one of those people, and doing it every day as a business person, as a marketing executive, as a director of marketing and public relations, having done it for small, medium, and large businesses, having consulted small, medium, large, and major market radio and television stations from cities as small as Springfield to as large as Detroit or New York. I know how to bring those solutions. I know what solutions can be brought. That's why I stepped up and said I wanted to run for alderman, because I know what solutions generate revenue. I know how to manage a budget. I know how to balance a P&L. These are things that I bring to the table that we need. I bring business solutions, because we're not going to get there by offering taxes. Taxes is the solution that somebody without ideas brings. Let's raise taxes. That's not going to be the case. I think there are plenty of other business solutions that can be brought. I'm a member of several organizations: the American Legion, the Marine Corps League, the Chamber of Commerce, the St. Aloysius Development Committee. I'm actively involved as well. But the simple answer is rather than going on this large torrent of explanation of all the things I see wrong, was I saw all these things and I said, look, I think I've got good solutions for these, and I'm going to step up and run. That's the simple answer.